$1,200 monthly checks for the low income. It started, and I have all the details right here in the video. Let's get into it and discuss what's going on. All right, now in this video, I want to discuss ongoing monthly checks in the amount of $1,200, specifically focused on the low income and how lawmakers that are currently in Congress are in widespread support of these $1,200 ongoing monthly checks. I also do want to talk about all the other programs going on all across the country right now, sending out a lot of money to a lot of low-income Americans. And again, I want to talk about all of it right here in the video, so let's get right into it. However, really fast before we do, thank you so much for joining me. If you're new here or if you haven't done so yet, please make sure to subscribe by hitting the button right down below the video, as it's totally free to do so. And because I am your one and only daily advocate, I'm here for you right by your side every single day, watching all this new information hitting the wire, doing the necessary research, and breaking it all down into these short videos so you can stay updated with what's actually going on right now and how all of this is going to impact you, your money, your benefits, your lifestyle, your bank account, and of course, anytime that something pops up, we can possibly grab and or take advantage of as a low income or fixed income beneficiary. Of course, I want to bring that to your attention right away as well. So again, thanks so much for joining me. Please make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet so you don't miss any videos going forward. And also remember, I'm here for you in any way that I can be. That's my dedication, that's my commitment, and as always, that is my promise to you and everybody right here in this community. All right, thanks again. Let's get into it and talk about the ongoing monthly checks in the amount of $1,200 for the low income and what has started about this. Now, there's a lot of different moving parts here, and I want to walk you through the details about this because this is all falling into place perfectly just as they've designed, and I'm going to tell you all those details here in just a second. All right, so here's what's going on. Just a couple days ago, I was out in a separate video talking about those 34 different guaranteed basic income programs that are going on all around the country. Now, I do want to take a second to talk about that because here's the thing. If you saw that video from a couple days ago, I was out in that video, I gave you all the details about these guaranteed basic income programs, and then I brought my wife Corey in and she read the list of all the 34 programs going on all across the country. In fact, as of right now, that's only 34 of them. In total, there's over 60 of these guaranteed basic income programs going on all across the country, literally sending out no strings attached monthly checks for the low income every single month. And in most instances, these programs go on for a year, 2 years, or even 3 years in some instances. The classic guaranteed basic income program. No strings attached payments for the low income. These are perfect, and these are exactly what the low income and fixed income beneficiaries need. Now, here's the thing. I want to talk you through all the details about that because I want to talk about another proposal that was introduced by one of the progressive representatives out of the House, and she is obviously one of the Democrats, and she is one of the progressives as well. Now, Ilhan Omar was out, and she introduced this bill that would send out $1,200 ongoing monthly checks for millions and millions of Americans who have an annual income of under $75,000 as an individual. Now, that's a pretty high income to send out an ongoing monthly check. However, within this proposal, she also had in there setting up hundreds of these little satellite guaranteed basic income programs all across the country to basically do like a beta test on guaranteed basic income to see how it would go, and then they would start rolling out these $1,200 checks. Now, here's the thing. Does a little bit of this seem a little bit interesting, how all of these guaranteed basic income programs have spontaneously popped up all across the country over the last couple of years here? In fact, as of late 2019, guaranteed basic income programs in the United States were pretty much not a thing. And then the very first one came into play in Stockton, California in late 2019. Since then, we've seen tons of these programs popping up. In fact, I've been bringing them to you in these videos as of recently. But over the last couple of years here, we've been seeing these programs popping up all across the country. We see them on the city level, we see them on the county level, we see them on the very small local levels, we see them on the state level as well, right? So we're seeing all these programs popping up. And again, exactly what was introduced with this piece of legislation out of Ilhan Omar, which was actually implementing hundreds of these guaranteed basic income programs, like I said, all across the country, for them to basically do a test on guaranteed basic income, and then provided what that testing was going to show. And again, we've seen this from time to time and time again, that all of these guaranteed basic income programs are very successful. They are very efficient. And again, they show that it lifts these low-income individuals that are receiving the payments a lot of times out of poverty and helping these individuals out with a lot of the basic necessities like food, housing, whatever else you need, clothing, literally, it doesn't matter. That's the best thing about guaranteed basic income programs is it's a no strings attached payment. You can literally spend the money on anything you want. Doesn't really matter. You could save it, you could spend it, you could do whatever you want with it. So that's the cool thing about these guaranteed basic income programs. Now, here's the thing. As we saw this proposal come out of Ilhan Omar and these $1,200 ongoing monthly checks, and again, that part in there about all of these guaranteed basic income programs being set up all across the country, it seems a little bit interesting that all of a sudden we're getting all these programs being set up as well, right? So we're seeing all of these programs showing up, and at the same time, we have these $1,200 ongoing monthly checks that they want all across the entire United States, which, by the way, all of these guaranteed basic income programs that are going on right now are administered on either the city level, the county level, the small local level, and or the state level. However, the $1,200 ongoing monthly checks would actually be administered by the federal government. So this would be a federal level. Let me give you a quick example and the differences between these. So here's the thing. Let's just say that a guaranteed basic income program in Los Angeles, California would only be dedicated to those people located within Los Angeles, California. For example, somebody located in Miami, Florida would not be able to take advantage of a program located in Los Angeles, California. Same goes with anybody located outside of Los Angeles, California. You could have somebody located in, for example, San Diego. They would not be eligible for the program located in Los Angeles. It would just be for those people in that specific area. So that's kind of an example of what this means on the local level, the city level, the county level, things like that. However, here's the difference. These other $1,200 checks that Ilhan Omar and other progressive representatives want would be actually administered by the federal government. In other words, it'd be all-encompassing across the entire United States. So the deal is, anything that is administered on the state level obviously can only be done within the borders of that specific state, right? So for only the residents of that state. However, when it's administered on a federal level, that's the cool thing about it. It's all-encompassing. Federal is all-encompassing. All the states, right? All the states, all the territories, the districts, everything like that, all included within federal, right? So that's what's really cool about this. And again, this proposal out of the progressive representatives want these $1,200 ongoing monthly checks from the federal level all across the entire United States. So again, seems a little bit interesting that they wanted a bunch of these guaranteed basic income programs set up all across the country to essentially do a test on guaranteed basic income for the low income, and then provided those results came in positive, which we're already seeing, yes, by the way, they're coming in very positive. We've seen all these reports time and time again that show ongoing monthly checks are very, very effective for the low income, and they do exactly what they're meant to do, which is get money into the pockets of the low income, help these individuals on an ongoing monthly basis so they can buy all the necessities or see whatever they see fit for the money on an ongoing monthly basis. And again, 1 month, the money could be spent on food maybe. The next month, it could be spent on clothing. The next month, it could be spent on a new refrigerator. The next month, it could be spent on a car. Literally, it doesn't matter. Or the next month, it could be spent on saving. It literally doesn't matter. That's the cool thing about these guaranteed basic income programs. It's literally no strings attached, and you can do anything that you want with that money. So, kind of cool that all this is rolling out, and we're seeing these programs popping up on a very widespread basis all across the country. Now, one more thing that I want to throw out there as well. Remember about a year or so ago, a lot of these states out there received billions upon billions of dollars in funding from the federal government. Remember that? $350 billion went out to the states. Well, here's the deal. The federal government gave the states $350 billion, of course, spread out across all the states. And then basically the rule was either you need to spend it or you need to give it back by the end of 2024. Well, guess what? The end of 2024 is coming up very fast, and these states either need to spend the money or they need to give it back to the federal government. Well, as I mentioned in other videos, do you think the states are going to give it back to the federal government? Highly doubt it. Maybe a couple states will give a little bit back, but I even highly doubt that. They're going to spend it because If you have the rule is either you spend it or you have to give it back, they're going to find a way to spend it, which again is why we continue to see all these states coming out, sending out state stimulus checks, guaranteed basic income programs on the state level. We're seeing all these other programs popping up right now because they have all this money and a lot of the states don't have a clue on what to do with it. So they're starting to set up all these programs and sending it out in the form of stimulus checks, even though a lot of the money that they're sending out is a very small fraction of what they actually have. But again, they only want to give what they feel like, let's just give a little bit, right? And then let's keep the rest for ourselves is basically what it comes down to. But anyway, when it comes down to it, we're going to see a lot more of these programs popping up here because they have to get rid of that money within the next, couple years here. Before the end of 2024, they need to spend it, otherwise give it back. So very important to continue watching this, and I would anticipate we're going to see a lot more of these guaranteed basic income programs popping up. But basically all of this is leading toward, well, the $1,200 ongoing monthly checks administered by the federal government. Well, it could easily happen, right? Now, again, I don't want to come here and say for sure it's going to happen next year. I don't know that for sure, but it seems weirdly coincidental that this is what they wanted, and now sure enough, here we are, and the little programs are popping up, possibly leading toward the bigger one coming on a federal level. But again, they certainly do want these $1,200 ongoing monthly checks. Here's the thing. With all this rapidly rising inflation and things that are going the way that they are right now, if they delay this much longer, the $1,200, honestly, they'll need to bump that up to even more than that. They'll need to do, $1,600, $1,800, maybe $2,000 in ongoing monthly payments just to keep up with this inflation because things are getting so incredibly expensive, right? The $1,200, by the time they actually roll this out, could be like, wow, $1,200, that's not even enough to do anything anymore, right? So anyway, I want to bring you the latest details on this because it seems interesting how all the programs that we talked about just a couple days ago in that separate video with the 34 guaranteed basic income programs, which by the way, if you haven't seen that video, I would highly recommend scrolling back and checking it out. It's just a few videos back. 34 states and cities rolling out $200, between $200 and $1,000 every single month in guaranteed basic income programs. So check out that video and you can see the whole list in that video as well of the 34 states and cities that have those programs in place. So check that one out. Otherwise, very interesting to see these programs popping up all across the country along with these proposals out of representatives that want to send out these $1,200 ongoing monthly checks. So again, realistically, it's probably only a matter of time until we do have guaranteed basic income on the federal level going out to literally all low-income Americans across the entire country. Would not be shocked one bit to see that happen at all. So, of course, I'll continue watching all of it closely, and of course, I'll bring you all the details as I do get them. So if you haven't done so, please make sure to subscribe down below. It's totally free to do so. Share the video with your friends, family, social media, and go back and check out any of the other thousands of videos here on the channel. Until next time, enjoy your day. Hope this one helps you. And again, I want to be here in any way that I can be to keep you updated with everything going on, and of course, breaking it down into these videos so that we can all understand what's going on out there and what is available to us that we can possibly grab. So enjoy. I'll catch you again later in the